Hi, my name is Trevor Gicheru, and here's how you sell without selling out. Rogers that.
Hey, everybody, I'm Rogers Healy, and welcome to Rogers That, a podcast dedicated to selling without selling out. And today we have someone that I'm a fan of. I've known him for a long time, known his family for a long time. I'm an investor in his company, and I got to be honest, I don't know what his company does because I am not familiar with AI, but I feel like a large part of investing is you bet on the jockey, not the horse. And I met Trevor when he was in high school before COVID through my previous life in real estate and became a fan of his family and how dedicated and intelligent and kind and loving they are. And one thing led to another. Trevor was a part of Morrison Seeger at the very beginning and quickly found out he's way too smart to work around someone like me. So he became a founder himself. He's an innovative founder. He's shaking things up in the world of AI. I'm going to make sure I'm saying this correctly. Nurovant, right?
Yeah, correct.
Nurovant, but it wasn't initially called Nurovant, was it?
Yeah, I think I called it Reflectly AI for a little bit, but then I changed it.
Yeah. See, I was paying attention. So Nurovant AI, that's his company. He's got a background in engineering and development. He created an AI-powered education app that analyzes audio lectures to develop personalized study aids, flashcards, and quizzes. I could have used this from ages 1 until 22, even when I was taking my real estate exam. He's redefining the learning experience, and Trevor is making education accessible for everybody. Without further ado, help me welcome the smartest person in the history of the podcast. The only thing he's not doing that's smart is he's currently in Oklahoma, which I widely consider the worst state in the country. But he's there because of Techstars. So Trevor, welcome to the podcast.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you so much for having me, Rogers.
Yeah. How was my intro? Did I forget anything?
No, that was great. That was fantastic.
I love it. Well, so you're a lot younger than me, but you're way more accomplished. But give us background. Tell us, who is Trevor and what led you to the mean streets of Tulsa, Oklahoma?
Yeah, so Trevor is originally from Dallas, Texas, born and raised. Parents went to SMU as well.
I didn't know that.
Yeah. So my dad
had no idea.
Yeah, my dad was electrical engineering. My mom went to law school there. So second generation, and started building. Very passionate about the education technology space.
But you initially went to Duke, didn't you?
Initially went to Oberlin College, actually. Yeah.
Oberlin. Okay. Yeah. But you were a St. Mark's guy. And, I was talking to Jeremy Downs about you yesterday, and I feel like the overlap is significant. But, you grew up in a family of, they're achievers and they're odd defiers. And, I know your family, remind me your family's country of origin originally. Were they from Ghana?
Kenya.
Yes. And your mom and your dad are just incredible entrepreneurs themselves. And you and your sister grew up around this. And then, you get to college and you realize maybe does your background being around that give you this internal burning desire to create something yourself?
Yeah, I would say so. So even on my dad's side, his dad was an entrepreneur himself, did a manufacturing company. His mom was. So yeah, definitely a few of us. And then even being around Morrison Seeger and really seeing what the world of business was like really opened my eyes. That, and then also the pitch competitions that SMU had kind of led me down this path.
So talk about it. I most of what we invest in, it's stuff. It's stuff that I can understand and that I can explain, and I'm a consumer for it. I'm a pitch person for it, and it's frankly not really difficult to introduce to potential investors. AI has been around for forever, not forever, but it's been around for a lot longer than people think. Mm-hmm. And I think I unintentionally kind of ran from it and had opportunities to invest in stuff, whether it's made it or not. And I just, was like, no, thank you, because I did not understand it. But with you found a way to kind of weave AI into your day to day. And I, as an entrepreneur myself, I found that maybe the easiest way to make money is to create a convenience. But you saw something as a student. So maybe walk us through the background with Nurovant AI and how you came up with the idea, how you named the company, and how you pitched this while a full-time student at a top university.
Yeah, definitely. So, the way it started was really just a personal use case. There was a chemistry class in SMU that I was taking, a whole lot of terms kind of being thrown around. And around this time, this is when AI came out too, or was becoming popularized with APIs and whatnot. So really just took the engineering background that I was building up through a few different internships and started building a personal project. And from there, we just kind of pitched it across the school, did flyers, emails, started getting some attention. So, I mean, that's how I originally started the company, personal
But
use
but how do
case.
you, but how do you even I got to be honest, I because of this I decided to upgrade my chat GPT to a premium last Friday.
Yeah,
I've never done chat GPT on a computer. I've only done it on my phone to help me program workouts.
yeah,
But what was the process behind the scenes of actually starting an AI company? How did you have to go do that?
yeah. Well, really just kind of started building myself. So I'd done some projects that were somewhat similar. I tried building like an AI scribe before, which had done something similar as far as taking audio and then doing something else with it. So I mean, really just went through the process of building, ideating, did some prototyping too, asking students, okay, what features would you like? What do you wish it did? So really did some initial customer discovery and validating the idea, and then just started building from there.
So how do you do that while a college student? What year were you at SMU when you decided to go and do this?
Yeah. So I was a junior, and it was really just a lot of, extra time spent on this side. I had some free time over the summer when I started building it too, between my internships. So I just found it to be like a good project to start building out as kind of like a passion project. But then once it started catching on, that's when I started diving even deeper. And then now we're getting to the point where we're learning about go to market, building out sales pipelines. So it's been a very transformative experience for sure.
Wow. So what was the moment where you realized that, your passion project or maybe your side hustle or your hobby was something that was an actual investable business? I mean, I invested, you've got some really great investors on your cap table, but at what point did you realize that you had to actually act on it?
Yeah, I would say it was around December when we were lucky enough to get featured in the news. So after that, I got a few different people that had reached out to me, asked if we could meet up, and then I kind of just pitched them the idea. So I mean, once I pitched them and they said they could invest, that's kind of when I decided to dive in even deeper.
So maybe for everyone listening and watching, one of the first questions I should have asked is, what does your company do?
Yeah,
Like,
yeah,
what does it do? How is it applicable? And then we'll kind of trail into the questions. Obviously you have a lot of paying customers already, but what does your company actually do?
yeah. So more or less for schools looking to improving learning outcomes, we're able to use adaptive learning to drive student success. So what that looks like, you go ahead, you input PDFs, videos, audio, whatever you want to input, and then from there we build out study aids, adaptive quizzes that see where you're kind of lagging, flashcards, and really just kind of streamline the learning process for the student so they can learn quicker.
So dumb it down. Like, pretend like you're talking to me
Yeah,
while I was in high school.
yeah.
What
More
does
or
that
less,
mean?
it's like an AI tutor, an AI co-pilot for students to really drive learning outcomes.
But it still means the students have to go to class.
Yes, yes. They
Yeah.
still have to go get that audio. Yeah.
So how did you have these educators become your advocate versus feeling like you were a threat?
Yeah, I mean, I would say there's a lot of different customer discovery and, asking them questions. Okay, how could this be more useful for you? Drive learning outcomes. So, I mean, once I started really doing that customer discovery, adding features for them, that's when I started getting them as advocates as well.
And you remember the first time someone actually reached out about wanting to invest?
Yeah, it was around December. Someone who was local actually, Court Westcott. So went over and pitched him right there. So that was like I think the first time that someone had reached out.
What was that like?
Yeah, I mean it was great because I mean I feel like SMU had really prepared me. They'd done a lot of different pitch competitions that I started engaging in my sophomore year, and with those pitch competitions, you end up pitching about like 100 people at the very end. So I felt pretty prepared when I went up and pitched them.
Mm. And do you feel like there was competition when you started this thing?
Competition as far as like the market or as far as
Yeah, I mean, again, when I was in school, they didn't have anything like this, and I frankly wish they would have, because I probably would have understood what I was studying a little bit differently, or I would have understood it at all. But the thing about AI that is this, it's like thinking about heaven. It's like you can't, because you'll
yeah,
lose yourself. The thing with AI, like with a consumer product, right? Whether it's a beverage or a piece of clothing or something, if all else fails, you can kind of market yourself out of an issue, right? The thing with AI that overwhelms me is that, you have to keep building the plane while you're flying and there's no destination, right? And so how do you go and do this knowing that there's companies like Microsoft or Nvidia, these, ones that we see about on, on the news or reading the paper? How do you do that with maintaining a different, my gosh, where your company is always different? How do you do that? But
Yeah.
is your advantage that you are a student and you know what students want?
Yeah. So that's definitely one. And then I feel like number two is just being really just consistent with customer discovery. Where these big companies might lack because they're so big, we really try to just do a lot of customer discovery, build a very good product for our users. So I mean, that's the front that we're trying to win. And then for the market, like still a very new space. So I mean, while there are some competitors, definitely an emerging market in the education space with the AI tutors.
The first time you went to actually pitch this to a paying customer, was that pretty early on?
Yeah. It was pretty early on. I had done a bunch of surveys actually before I started building, asking them what features they would like, where they thought it could be most useful. So I had a pretty good understanding of what they were looking for going into it. But yeah.
Did you get pushback?
There was some initially from some educators, but then once I started adding on some features for them as well too, that's when I started getting them as advocates.
Got it. So talk to me about routine. Are you still in undergrad?
Yeah. So
So
still
you're
knocking
still an
out classes.
undergrad.
Yeah.
You're still an undergrad. You're in an incredible program with Techstars. You're living in remote in Tulsa. How does routine affect your success this early on, no matter your age? How does that benefit you?
Yeah. I mean, just staying very consistent with routine. Techstars is great. They go ahead and they build programming out for us about 4 to 5 days a week where they just kind of have different mentors, former founders really just give us advice and whatnot. So like the routine that they've kind of built out for us has been very useful for really kind of bridging my gaps on the sales and go to market side of things.
What has been the biggest obstacle? Do you feel like you
Biggest
have a personal life at all?
right now it's a lot of building for sure, but biggest obstacle is probably just learning to stay like patient. I will say that like at times I feel like I am a little bit impatient, but I feel like during this process it's really helped me to build that out for sure.
Hmm. What does the next 6 months look like for you?
6 months pitching schools pretty much every day, just getting this in as many schools as we can. Looking to hit about 40 schools in about 6 months. So that's more or less what day to day is going to look like between now and then.
Do you get tired of telling the story? I've always wanted to ask a founder. You tell the same story probably 5, 10, 50 times a day,
Yeah,
does that get exhausting or does it excite you?
it definitely excites me because even though it's the same story, I feel like I'm constantly trying to improve the way I pitch. So definitely, while it does seem a little bit boring, I try to make it like a competitive thing for sure and improve it each
Yeah.
time.
And how do you go and talk about the excitement of Nurovant? And are you able to go and talk about? Do you know what tomorrow looks like with it? Is it something where you're kind of still learning on the fly? How do you share that story when it's still something relatively new?
Yeah, I would say just kind of pitching into the vision of where I see this going if we win and whatnot. The process of accelerating the learning outcomes and whatnot. So while I do have to kind of pitch on the fly a little bit, I do also bring in some of the traction that we've had thus far.
Which is what? Talk to us.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah. So we're
have an
currently
ego with us. No humility.
yeah, we're currently working with like about a dozen schools right now, just kind of getting this into different classes and whatnot, driving learning outcomes in those term heavy subjects. So I talk about that. I talk about some of the consumer progress that we've built out and just kind of the product that we've built with some really unique technology too. Because like a lot of the things that we're doing are built, it's just built in house. So that's definitely something that I talk about a lot.
Hmm. Can I ask how old you are?
22.
So you're 22 years old. You're a founder of a significant company that is getting looks from probably some of the most well-respected investors in the world, Techstars, the Westcott family, et cetera. And pretend that you could rewind the clock 2 years to your 20-year-old self. What advice would you give to your 20-year-old self, even though 2 years is not that much time? But you've grown a lot over the course of a short period of time?
Just stay very persistent on different goals that you have, and I kind of wish I had started building a bit earlier. To be honest, I started building like a year ago, but I think if I built even earlier, that would have been better.
You're only 22. Come on, I used to take pride. I started my first real estate company when I was 25, and I still feel like that was really young. But yeah, you're 22. You got to give yourself credit. So there's the next question: is it hard to enjoy this, knowing that you've got so much ahead of you in an exciting way? Is it hard to go and actually have a little bit of a personal life or a social life?
I mean, a little bit, but I mean, the part that I really like about program like Techstars is that you're around other founders on that same journey. So, definitely still able to interact and have some good personal time with them too.
Okay, so as you're kind of building this, mid-flight, are there tangible goals that you're trying to achieve? Obviously, getting more universities, getting revenue up, but what does the potential best case scenario look like for you as the founder of this company?
Yeah, I mean, I think in 5 years, if we can get to the point where we're accelerating the learning process for students and just driving better outcomes, I think that the impact could be significant for sure. So, while this is definitely something that is a journey that we're looking to build the company, have more employees, be very profitable. I think the impact goals around this too could be significant as well.
So, but like talk numbers. Is this something where
Yeah.
are you growing this thing to sell it for $1 billion? Are you trying to go public? Do you want to keep it where it becomes a cash machine? Or do you feel like you're going to have to raise money again? Are you at a place where this company can self fund? What does that look like?
Yeah, definitely do want to get to the point where we raise again and continue to build it. A company that I like a lot, as an example, would be probably like I would say a company called School Dude. That's kind of similar to what we're building out, and then just over the years they're able to consistently raise and grow. So 5 years from now, would love to just continue to grow it and eventually sell.
It's unbelievable. So how do you keep motivated? Like, is it you talk about the benefit of being around other founders. I'm sure younger founders. Does that inspire you? Does it overwhelm you? What's the driver that keeps you going, knowing that again you have a long road ahead of you, but it's not impossible.
Yeah, definitely inspires me a lot being around other founders. And then also, the St. Mark's and SMU network are great because they have a good bit of founders as well too. So I mean, there's some older guys that I talk to consistently who kind of just really inspire me with what they've already built out. So yeah, just keeping them in my ear and continue to build things out is what keeps me motivated.
It's awesome. Who you get to pick one person to go have dinner with, to talk to
Ooh.
them about their entrepreneurial journey. Who is it and why?
I like Jensen Huang a lot. Uh,
Who?
Under Jensen Huang, the founder of NVIDIA. Yeah, I
Oh,
think his story is, yeah, definitely inspirational. How they started, went through a lot of initial hardship, and then still ended up being a very big company later on. So he's
and,
someone
and
to have dinner with.
and he would definitely buy dinner. I think the guy's made a couple dollars this year.
Yeah, I think he's made a couple.
Okay, so talk about change. What's the advice you give to somebody managing change, both personally, professionally, whether they're a new founder, a tenured founder? What's the best advice from Trevor regards to that?
Yeah, as far as change, I would say just get comfortable being uncomfortable and really pushing your limits is always good because I feel like when you're in that space, you're really growing. That and then never stop learning. Always read, and yeah, that'll be my advice for sure.
That's awesome. What are you most excited about right now for your company?
Yeah, right now, just continuing to go through the Techstars program. I feel like I've learned so much already in this first half, so even more excited for the second half coming up. Our managing director Trey is great, and he's provided a lot of insight.
Is it Trey Bowles?
Oh no, so mine is Trey Baker. They both have the same first name, but yeah, both know a lot.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
As we wrap up, we got to make sure to ask the most important question: how do we best support you? What if it's an educator watching this, or if it's a student? What are the two different verticals for how they can sign up and be a part of this?
Yeah, definitely visiting our website if you're a student. If you're an educator, reaching out at trevor@nurovant.com. Looking to just bring on more schools, more educators, get more feedback as we're continuing to build out. So, yeah, those two ways would be great.
And how do the fees work? Is it a subscription base for the students and for the educators?
Yeah. So students is about 10 a month, and then for the schools, we're doing about it ends up being like 20 a seat per semester for the schools, depending on how many classes they sign up. So it is a
And
basis, yeah.
is it just for colleges?
No, we're also doing some K-12 as well too. Yeah, so
Wow,
there's a school in Birmingham that we're working with right now. So yeah, both higher ed and K-12.
that's awesome. Has it been something where you find yourself like these questions I'm asking? Are you answering stuff like this all day with people that don't really understand AI yet?
So yeah, there's some similar questions that we get as far as like how it works, how we got started. That we do answer a good bit for sure.
So, what's your pitch for AI in general? Like, obviously, it's here; it's not
Yeah,
going anywhere. But how do people that maybe have not adjusted to it yet? How do they embrace the change and make it something that can benefit them versus feel the fear of missing out or losing their job?
yeah, I would definitely say it's best to embrace it for sure. It's here and it's definitely here to stay, and it'll just continue to move faster. And I feel like what you can get out of it, is productivity wise, is significant. So I definitely encourage people to definitely embrace it earlier on.
I love it. The last question, the legacy, which is a big question for anyone to be asked. Whether I'm actually literally twice your age, whether you're 44, you're 22, and you get to think about 100 years from now and the legacy of Trevor and everything that he did to help the world. What's the legacy that you want to leave?
Yeah, that's a great question. I would say it's mainly about driving impact for students, and then even as I go through this company and even another company, I just want to be a person who's able to drive impact for communities that I've been a part of, and just other communities in general. I think kind of seeing what George Kaiser's been able to do in Tulsa here has been pretty inspirational. He's always given back, so definitely driving impact is huge.
It's awesome. And for the one more time, the website, spell it out for me. NUR, what is it?
Yeah, NUROVANT.com.
.com. Trevor, founder extraordinaire. He is a doer. He creates time. He creates convenience. He's helping educators and students find ways to learn at a different pace, which I think you're going to organically help people graduate and learn while they're in school better than they did when I was in school. So thanks for joining us, and thanks for being a part of this. And most importantly, congrats on your success.
Yeah. Thank you so much, Rogers. It was great being
Yeah.
on the podcast. Thank you.